Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday. A couple of things I want to talk to you guys about is look at the miners. We're going to look at the stock price, see where it's at right now, and then we're going to compare it to where the stock price, as low as it is now, where was it last time at this price, and see if it's possibly oversold. Basically, have we reached bottom on the stocks? So we'll take a look at that. We'll also take a look at Bitcoin, obviously, see where it's going. We got some news stories from Ark Invest. We got a Federal Reserve story, obviously, that's happening today and tomorrow. We'll get some more details from that. And we'll take a look at one company that just bought some more Hive shares. So we'll take a look at that. But before we get into it, not financial advice, obviously, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams and spam posts. Get reported and deleted. And just for full disclosure, I am invested in the following: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Hedera Hashgraph, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and then also in the stocks, Coinbase, Rivian, Hive, Bitfarms, and Cleanspark. So just so you guys are aware of that. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick. So Bitcoin has been knocking on 37,500 door here for 2 days now. Yesterday obviously was a wild day. We went all the way down to our support here at 32,750 roughly, and it bounced off of it, came all the way up to our resistance here at 37,500. So it knocked on it once here, came back down, and today we saw a repeat of it and knocked again on the 37,500 here, and it came down as well. We did end up on the day basically up $286, 0.78% up on the day, but we are now trading down a little bit. We are down basically $166 or so, 0.43% down, and we are at 36,836 on Bitcoin. So there's two things that could happen right now. Number one, depending on the Fed, where it's going to take the country, basically, is it going to do, when is it going to do a rate hike and everything else, and how this all plays out. It's going to depend on also what Bitcoin, I think, is going to do. So there's two things we could do. We could obviously hit the 37,500 mark and go up above it, or we could obviously try again, or try a couple of times and get denied from it and come back falling down to the, what was it, the 32,500 mark here, 32,750 mark. So we'll have to see if this plays out. I'm thinking the road to, or the least resistance, I think, is going up. I think we've hit a pretty low bottom here on Bitcoin. I mean, we came all the way down. If we look at the charts here, we came down here to a bottom of about 52% or so, down from its all-time high. So that's a huge correction, huge downtrend, obviously, on Bitcoin price. We've seen this before. This is not the first time we've seen it, and I'm sure it's not the last time we're going to see it. But looking at it, it looks like we are just oversold right now on it. The RSI has improved a little bit, obviously, which is at 30. So it looks like we're in the neutral territory here. I would have liked to have seen this maintain lower here, so we could obviously come back down and go dip a little bit further down on the chart. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Ethereum is playing kind of trading sideways right now. Could be an accumulation phase on it. We don't really know exactly what it's going to do. There aren't too many telltale signs here for Ethereum. We do have obviously some support here. It looks like back in August of 21, this kind of acted as support here. We bounced off of it twice here. So we'll have to see if this is actually the support line here. And then if we go back further down, I think our next line would be probably around the 1,700 mark. If we go further down, there really isn't any support below that line here that we've reached here, maybe right around here at the 2,100 mark roughly. So if you fall below that, 1,700 is obviously next in line here as well. Okay, so let's take a look at the miners here, and then we'll get into the news stories as well. So Argo was down, it was actually up today 2.05% to 94 cents. Argo, the last time it was at this price was back here in of 2021, so basically a full year ago on this chart. And it looks like we do have some support here possibly. We've seen it bounced off of this twice here. We don't have any other touches on the line, so possibly we could be at the bottom here. We'll obviously have to see how this plays out. Bitfarms was actually neutral today at $3.50. No gain, no loss. And the last time it was down at these levels here, it was back in July of 2021. And then over here at April of 2021 as well. So this may end up being our bottom here. Looking just at the graph here, we've touched it twice here previously and bounced off of it. This could be obviously really good support here. If we break below that, then we're going down to possibly the $1.75 mark based on the touches here on the lines. So that was Bitfarms. Next is Cleanspark. Cleanspark was down 3.34% to 637. Cleanspark, obviously they've been only mining Bitcoin for the past year, so it's not really fair to gauge them where they've been in the past based on the Bitcoin mining, because that is so much more of their business now. But if we look just at the chart here, last time we were at this price was back here in, what was that, July of 2020. And they started mining, I believe, just this year. Recently they got obviously acquired a mining company, and then they've obviously expanded from that. So I can't really tell too well for them as far as where they're going. Cores is not one that I'm completely following yet. I still haven't done my due diligence on them. I'm working on that. And Cores obviously went in through a SPAC, so we don't have a lot of data on them as well, so we can't really figure out what's going on in them. But they were up hugely. They were up 12.54%. Did not see anything that was, let's take a look here maybe so we got anything here. Let me see if we can find some news on them, if there was anything here. Yeah, there's nothing really here to warrant the huge increase. The only thing I can think of was that it fell so sharply down. It's just like a dead cat bounce here. And we bounced back up above the price where it should be, more or less, based on their opening trade here, which happened last week. Digihost was down 1.28% to 308. If we look at Digihost over the last couple of basically months and years, we can see that we had pretty good support here at the $2.65. We've obviously wicked down below that, but came off of it. So that could be our support here and possibly our bottom as well. We'll have to keep our eye on that. So we had it back in July, June, May, and then prior to that we were in February. So 4 touches on that line, basically bouncing off of it. So that could be our good support here and possibly our bottom as well for Digihost. DMG, we see that they are down 1.3%. They are at 50 cents right now. And the last time they were this low, it was back here in July as well. And prior to that, we had pretty good bounces here off of this line as well back in January of last year. So this could as well be looking like a pretty good support line. If we zoom in a little bit here to get a better price on it, yeah, we're right about 42 cents or so. We came down here to that almost and touched it there. So we could be at that very good support level for DMG as well. Hive was down actually 1.07% to $1.85. The last time it touched this line here where it was at $1.50 basically, was all the way back here, which was 12/24 of 2020, so 2 years ago. And prior to that was also 12/16, so in that same month. That's a long time ago. We don't have any other touches here. I thought we might have kept support right around this line here, which is $1.77, which we can see we touched it a couple of times here in a row, going back to 2021 and 2020. But it obviously blew below it, so we'll have to see how this plays out, whether that's the bottom or not. But I think we have bottomed in Hive as well. Obviously, the market goes down even further. You can, throw out all my estimates here. And then if we look at Hut mining, Hut was up 1.48% to 548. They bottomed here out at approximately, 448 or so. Based on this information here, let's see if we got pretty good support here. And we might have pretty good support here. Another support line might be right around here, which we bounced twice of, which was around 342. So we're either at pretty good support here where we bounced off of it a couple of times and used it as resistance and support as well. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes down just a little bit more to maybe the what is that? Right around the 350 mark or so. If it does come down, that might be our next support line on them. And then Iris Energy obviously came public this year, so we don't have a lot of data on them, so we can't really do anything, but they were up 2.58% to 955. Mara was down 3.14% to 2218. And we can see Mara last time it was at this price was back in right around there. So we do have some support here back in May. Yeah, back in May of 2021. And prior to that, we could see it over here as well. This was back in January or so. So this looks like a good support line for it as well. We'll see how this plays out, and it bounced off of it, obviously. So we'll see if this is the bottom for him. Obviously, if the market goes down, like I said, all bets are off. But right now, it looks like it's pretty good support on pretty much all these guys here. Mawson is at 380. It's down 2.81%. And the last time it was around this here. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I think Mawson wasn't mining Bitcoin going all the way back to beginning of 2021, but I could be wrong. For some reason, I have it in my head that they just recently started mining. Maybe it was this year or last year. So this could be correct. So the last time they were at this price was, 350 or so here, which was back in February of 2021. And then finally, we got Riot. Riot is at 1464. It's down 3.24% on the day. And last time it was at this low range was back here, which was also basically 2 years ago in December 24th of 2020. And we don't have a lot of touches here. Let's take a look if we can go back even further out. And prior to that, everything was down below it. So I was thinking that possibly this is obviously way under where it should be, I think, especially since where they're going to be with their hash rate. But I would have guessed they would have kind of stopped going down to 22 or so based on the chart here. But obviously it came way down. So that's just my 2 cents here. Obviously not financial advice. Do your own research, but it kind of looks like we might have bottomed out on some of these stocks here, unless the market goes down even more, which in this case, obviously everything else is going to go down as well with it. Okay, let's take a look at the first story here that we have. Actually, let's take a look at really quick the hash rate of the Bitcoin network. So the hash rate on the 7-day average is down a little bit. It's down to 187. And on the raw values, we can see that we're climbing back up to 198 million. So continues to grow. Definitely, I think we're going to end on a high note for the month of January. We still have about a week to go. And I'm pretty sure we're going to possibly get over the all-time high of 216. Probably get closer to maybe 220 or something like that by the end of the month, based on the amount of miners that are being installed alone this year. All right, so Cathie Wood's Ark Invest predicts Bitcoin could exceed 1 million. So in their latest installment, Ark Invest Management, the firm led by star manager Cathie Wood, predicts the Bitcoin price could exceed 1 million by 2030, as the cryptocurrency's global usage is still only in its early days. I would love to see it. Obviously, I own Bitcoin. She also predicted that it could reach 500,000 by 2026, which isn't that far away. And I got to clear my throat, guys. Sorry. My throat is getting dry. Okay. So Bitcoin's market capitalization still represents a fraction of the global assets and is likely to scale as nation states adopt as legal tender. So we've already seen that with El Salvador. Wrote Ark's analyst Yassine E. in the firm's Big Ideas 2022 Outlook report, which was released on Tuesday. So I got to take a look at it. I haven't looked at it completely, but it's always great. So if you ever get a chance, the report is free from them. All you got to do is use your email and name and sign up for it, and you get it. It's pretty interesting to get another insight from them as far as what they're seeing going forward. So highly recommend it. Ark added to its Bitcoin outlook that cryptocurrency is taking market share as global settlements network. According to Ark's research, Bitcoin's cumulative transfer volume increased by 463% in 2021, and its annual settlement volume has surpassed Visa's annual payments out volume. Technologically, advancements such as the Taproot upgrade and Lightning Network may also help Bitcoin to scale, and institutional ownership of Bitcoin will also broaden, according to Ark. Last year, Ark Wood herself predicted that Bitcoin would reach 500,000 by 2026. So obviously not too far away. And even 2030 is not too far away. It's only 8 years away. Time flies by pretty fast. So obviously bullish on Bitcoin still. We're going to see dips and highs. This is just the life of Bitcoin. Next is the Federal Reserve is likely to signal a March interest rate hike that further policy tightening is coming. The Federal Reserve is expected to signal at its meeting this week that it is ready to raise interest rates as soon as March and that it will consider other policy tightening. The Fed issues its policy statement Wednesday afternoon at the end of its two-day meeting. So they're meeting today, they're meeting again tomorrow. And it is expected to show that it is willing to take the steps necessary to fight inflation. This is something that is not new. We should be all obviously aware of that. Here's one strategist. I don't think they're going to be spooked by this. Said one strategist of the stock market's correction, they need to tighten financial conditions so they can have a better handle on inflation. Completely agree. Even though if they do raise interest rates, we are still at really low interest rates compared to the last 15, 20 years. It's still a really good market to invest. It's still a really good market to buy homes. Interest rates are really low. So I'm fine with this. If we need to go up a little bit, that's fine. And then last we have here, Spearhead Capital is buying shares of Tesla and some other companies as well as Hive. So I just wanted to point that out. Didn't report how much they bought, but new purchases include Tesla and Hive, obviously, in here. I'm not sure what, was this Mavis? MVIS, this might be Mavis. Not sure what ONL is, and MJ. Obviously, I saw Hive, so thought that was kind of cool. They added to the positions here, looks like Microsoft, Google, Adobe, Apple. They added a bunch of positions to their shares. So if you want to take a look at that, kind of interesting. But it's good nice to see that obviously new purchases include Hive in there. I do own shares in Hive, so I'm obviously bullish on it. But that's it. Not bad right now. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick, see what it's doing. It is still at 33,000 or 36,883. So it's still battling. We'll have to see how it plays out. But right now, it's not bad. We've had 3 good days of up. We'll see if that trend continues or not, and if we can break the 37,500 line. If we do, we may have a good chance of going up a little bit higher. But that's it. Let me know what you guys thought about all of this, obviously, and appreciate you guys watching. And all I ask in return is you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great evening. Until then, bye.